Am I the a-hole for letting my niece move in and not including her sister anymore or letting her in? I'll be honest, this might get messy, but I need to let it all out. My family has been wrapped up in a situation that's been quietly building for years, and now it's finally come to a head. And somehow, I've ended up as the villain in a story I never meant to be part of. So, here's the setup. My niece Sophie just turned 18 this year. She's bright, artistic, a little shy, and genuinely one of the sweetest kids I know. I've always had a soft spot for her, and so have my parents and siblings. But she's had a tough go of it, mainly because of her mom, Trisha, and her 14-year-old half-sister, Megan. Now, Trisha isn't exactly an evil stepmother type or anything, but she's one of those parents who insists that everything must be fair, except her version of fairness meant that Megan had to be included in everything Sophie did. Every time we invited Sophie over, Trisha made sure we knew that if we didn't invite Megan too, we wouldn't be seeing Sophie at all. We wanted to spend time with Sophie. So, we included Megan. Birthdays, holidays, family trips, movie nights, you name it. If Sophie was there, so was Megan. Every time we bought Sophie a gift, we had to get something for Megan too. Not in a let's be kind and inclusive way, but in a do it or lose access kind of way. It wasn't just us, either. Sophie's friends, her dad's family, other extended relatives, everyone had to include Megan or be cut out. So, we complied. We put on a smile and made space. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It got exhausting. We never really bonded with Megan. She was just always there, a shadow attached to Sophie. We never got to build our own connection with Sophie, without conditions or strings. It always felt like an exchange. But we did it. For Sophie. Fast forward to this year. Sophie turned 18, and she was finally able to make her own choices. So we did something we'd been quietly thinking about for a while. We offered to let her stay with us during school breaks, and especially over the summer before she goes off to college. We thought it would be good for her to have space away from her mom, to relax, to breathe, and to just be herself without always having to accommodate Megan. To our surprise, and honestly, to our joy, Sophie jumped at the offer. She moved in just before the end of her school year, and the change in her has been incredible. She's happier. She laughs more. She actually has time to be 18, and not someone else's emotional babysitter. But of course, that didn't sit well with Trisha. Almost immediately, Trisha started calling and texting, furious that we took her daughter away. She's upset that she won't have Sophie under her roof for the last summer before college. She said it's cruel of us to invite Sophie and not Megan. She said that we've torn her family apart. Megan, to be fair, has also taken it hard. She's shown up at our house multiple times, sometimes crying, sometimes begging to see Sophie. But Sophie doesn't want to see her, not right now. She's asked us repeatedly not to let Megan in, and we're respecting her boundaries. We've gently explained this to Megan each time and turned her away with kindness. But it's gotten harder each time. Megan clearly has attachment issues, and honestly, I blame Trisha for that. She raised those girls like they were conjoined twins. Megan was never taught to have her own space, her own friends, or even her own identity outside of her big sister. And now that Sophie has finally created a little distance, it feels like the entire world around her is imploding. Trisha keeps calling us heartless. She insists that we, not Sophie, are the ones shutting Megan out. That we should at least invite Megan over sometimes, since she's known us her whole life and sees us as family. But the hard truth is, we don't see her that way. I know how bad that sounds. I'm not proud of it. It's not that we hate Megan or want to hurt her, but we never got to develop a real relationship with her. She was always more of a tag-along by force than someone we chose to include. And now that we're finally getting to know Sophie on her own terms, it doesn't feel right to drag Megan back into the equation against her will. We have a 4th of July trip coming up, a big family tradition. For years, we brought Megan along every single time. Extra ticket, extra room, extra costs. Always. But this year, we didn't invite her. We weren't planning to, and we don't want to. It's the first time we'll get to enjoy this trip with just Sophie, without the extra pressure, without the guilt, without having to pretend everything's equal when it clearly never was. And if I'm honest, we don't want to go back to how it was. We don't want to go back to always bringing Megan along for every birthday, every vacation, every single time we want to do something for Sophie. We finally have a chance to build a real, adult relationship with her, and we want to protect that. The sad thing is, this could all be different if Sophie wanted Megan around. But she doesn't. Not now, maybe not ever. And I don't think she's wrong for that. Sophie has years of resentment built up from having to share everything, from never being allowed to be just herself. She wants to breathe. and we want to give her that space. Trisha thinks we're heartless, that we've picked favorites, that we're the reason her daughters are drifting apart. But if you ask me, she's the one who never let them be separate people to begin with. So yeah, am I the a-hole for letting Sophie live with us? For not letting Megan in when she shows up, and for not including her in our plans anymore? Because we're done doing things out of obligation. We're finally doing them out of love.